Welcome to the Detox for Life podcast, and I want to encourage you to practice self-compassion. So we hear a lot about self-care, mindfulness, emotional health, but there's one crucial element that's often overlooked or not talked about enough, and that's self-compassion. So in today's podcast, we're going to explore how self-compassion plays a critical role in maintaining and improving our overall emotional wellness. So you're like, okay, Nicole, so what's self-compassion? Self-compassion is basically treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding that you offer to strangers, that you offer to close friends, family members, whomever. Because sometimes we are our own harshest critic. I'm raising my hand on that one because that's me all day, every day. I am my harshest critic. We are quick to judge ourselves for our mistakes, for our failures, for our perceived shortcomings. And so when it comes to self-compassion, that's about changing that inner dialogue. You know, too often people don't understand that those of us who are our harshest critic, we tend to be harder on ourselves than anyone else could ever be. We tend to beat ourselves up more than anyone else can beat us up. And so it's important that we stop doing that. It's important that we give ourselves compassion, that we give ourselves grace. According to researchers on self-compassion, they say self-compassion has three components. That's self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. And when it comes to self-kindness, instead of being overly critical, self-kindness means that we offer ourselves warmth. I don't know why that made me just want to hug myself when I said the word warmth, but we offer ourselves warmth. We offer ourselves understanding and gentleness. Gentleness. I just needed to say that one more time. During those moments of failure or struggle, when it comes to self-kindness, you acknowledge that it's okay to be imperfect and that making mistakes is a part of human being. It's part of being human. It's just a part of being human. Every single person walking this earth, even the people that you, for whatever reason, put on this pedestal and you think that they're so great, they got it all together. They're imperfect, just like you're imperfect. They make mistakes all the time, just like you make mistakes sometimes. They do. It's just a part of being human. And when it comes to that second component of self-compassion, common humanity, this refers to the idea that suffering and failure are part of the shared human experience. We often sometimes feel isolated in our pain, in our struggles, but self-compassion helps remind us that everyone faces challenges. We are not alone in our struggles. And recognizing this can provide us with a sense of comfort. Once we recognize that we're not going through this alone, other people go through the same things. It gives us some level of comfort, allows us to be a little softer with ourselves. And then that third component, mindfulness. I know you're like, Nicole, why are you always talking about mindfulness? I don't know, because I see the importance of it, perhaps. Mindfulness is about being present with your emotions without judgment. That's why I don't like it when people, give you all the cliches. Oh, everything happens for a reason. Oh, it's going to be okay. Oh, you're so strong. You'll get through this. Blah, 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 blah. Those are great. People mean well. Sometimes we need to sit with those emotions and then sit with them without judging ourselves for those emotions or for whatever led to those emotions, because it allows us to observe our negative feelings without amplifying them and without suppressing them. So by being mindful of our emotions, we can respond to them with clarity, kindness, rather than responding to them with those knee-jerk reactions. That's why we have that impulsiveness. That's why we have those things that we do that we regret later, because we're responding from an emotional state. We didn't take the time to sit with those emotions and allow ourselves to feel whatever we're feeling, to process it, and then move forward. So when it comes to self-compassion and emotional wellness, how does self-compassion impact emotional wellness? Because emotional wellness is all about understanding, managing, and navigating our feelings in a healthy way. Self-compassion plays a huge role in this by creating a space where we can process our emotions without adding those layers of guilt or shame to that. So there are 3 benefits that I want to share. Of course, there are more, but for the sake of this podcast, because y'all know I like to keep it short and simple, give you some nuggets and you can walk away with it. So 3 benefits that I want to focus on are: 1 is reduced anxiety and stress. People who practice self-compassion experience lower levels of anxiety, lower levels of stress. Because when we are not constantly being in a situation where we're berating ourselves, we're, yelling at ourselves eternally, we're beating ourselves up, when we're not in those states, we are naturally experiencing more calmness and more balance. So when you're not berating yourself, beating yourself up for every mistake, you're naturally calmer. There tends to be more of a balance that exists within you, which has a direct impact on the balance outside of you, right? Also, self-compassion impacts emotional wellness because it increases resilience. And yeah, y'all have heard me say before that I have a love-hate relationship with that word. But self-compassion makes us more resilient to life challenges. When we treat ourselves kindly in moments of failure, moments of disappointments, whatever that is, we're able to bounce back quicker because we don't get stuck in that cycle of self-blame. It breaks my heart to think about the fact that there are a number of people who just cannot break out of that cycle of blaming themselves, judging themselves, beating themselves up. They are like stuck. They're stuck. And it just breaks my heart. And then the 3rd one is better emotional regulations. Instead of being swept up by the intense emotions that we all feel. We all go through it. There's no single person that doesn't go through it when failure, mistakes, disappointments, whatever that is. We all feel those intense emotions. Even the people who say I'm not emotional or things don't bother me, they just roll off my back like a duck, like water on a duck's back, whatever that expression is. They too experience it. They do. I'm not even going to talk about the people who lie to themselves, or they're lying to you because they're lying to themselves. Okay, perhaps they're just speaking it into existence. They're hoping they're going to be that way. I don't really know. That's a topic for another podcast. Let me continue on with better emotional regulation. Instead of being caught up in those intense emotions that you may feel, self-compassion allows us to process them in a healthy, mindful way. We learn how to recognize emotions without letting them control us. So, there's some practical ways to practice self-compassion. Start with self-talk. Begin noticing how you talk to yourself, especially when things go wrong. Would you talk to a friend the way that you talk to yourself? Replace those harsh judgments with encouraging words. Take breaks when you're struggling, when you're feeling overwhelmed. Push the pause button. Just pause. See, there was a pause right there. And remind yourself that it's okay to step back. Give yourself permission to rest and recharge without feeling guilty. Write yourself a compassionate letter. Whenever you're feeling particularly down or self-critical, write yourself a letter from the perspective of a close friend, because you are your own best friend. This can help you see your situation from a more compassionate lens. And again, practice mindful meditation, because mindfulness helps you stay present with your emotions without overly identifying with them. Try incorporating mindfulness practices, taking those deep breaths, doing meditation, even if it's for just a couple of minutes. And if you're new to meditation, there are so many apps out there for meditation. There are YouTube videos for meditation. There are classes, whatever it takes. Begin practicing meditation. Put it into your regular routine. And so I want to leave you with emotional wellness is an ongoing journey, and self-compassion is an essential tool that can help us along the way. By practicing self-compassion, we're not only nurturing ourselves, but also building a strong emotional foundation that can sustain us through life's ups and downs. Because one thing we know about life be life, and they're going to have those ebbs and flows that exist. And so I want to encourage you to take a moment today to be kind to yourself, to offer yourself grace, to recognize that you're doing the best that you can. Until next time, I want you to stay well and be kind to yourself. I'm Nicole L. Turner, your mindset coach, helping you shift the way you think so you can change the way you live. If you're in need of a mindset coach, you can reach me at detoxforyourlife.com. Also, check out my latest book, Empowered Living 90 Days of Affirmations. It can be found on Amazon or anywhere that books are sold.